Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to texture soils by hand using the NRCS Textural Triangle and the Guide to Texturing Soils by Feel. You start by taking a sample of your desired soil. I've collected several to show you several outcomes. And the next step is to break up large aggregates and to remove debris. I've done this by hand for this soil so that it's free of debris. But your other option is to sieve it using a 2mm sieve, like I have with this soil. Now we're ready to begin texturing. Place about 25 grams of soil in your hand and add water drop-wise while kneading to form a ball. You can use any kind of water or spray bottle to wet the soil. I used a regular everyday water bottle. Keep in mind that soils with higher clay are going to take up more water and you're going to need to use more, but if you do get your soil too wet, you can always add more dry soil until you have a ball that's nice and soft and pliable. I've repeated this process for 3 different soils to illustrate the differences. Now we consult the flow chart to begin working through the rest of the texturing process. Let's start with the soil with the highest sand content. The first test on the flowchart is to see whether it remains in a ball when tested. While the ball deforms, the soil holds its shape, so we know that it has too much clay to be a sand, and we move to the next test, which is, does it form a ribbon? This soil does not form a ribbon, which makes it not a good choice to illustrate how to ribbon, but it does show that it is a loamy sand. Now I will actually demonstrate how to ribbon a soil. So you place the ball in between your thumb and your forefinger, and you're going to apply even pressure with your thumb and just pushing out a ribbon until it breaks under its own weight. Here's the same process with a soil with higher clay content. Note that the length of your ribbon is going to become important for this next step on the flow chart. In this case we have 2 ribbons. One is about 2.5 centimeters long and the other one is about 5 centimeters long. So to make our final determination, we're going to go to the bottom of this flow chart. So for the next step, we're going to take a pinch of soil from the texture ball, put it in the palm of our hands, and wet it excessively, rubbing it around and noting the way that it feels. This feels very smooth and very slippery. And when we consult the part of the flow chart that corresponds to the length of the ribbon, we find that it is very smooth. It is a silt loam. When we repeat this process for the soil that's higher in clay, we find that it isn't gritty and it isn't smooth. In fact, it's quite sticky. So when we look at the appropriate part of the flow chart, we find that we have a clay loam. And that's all there is to it. So whether you're out surveying soils or whether you're curious about what's going on in your yard and garden, this is a skill you can take anywhere as it takes little to no equipment.